Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, July 29, 2021, Thursday, another day of life in COVID 19, and talk is about quality, safety, health, environment on top because of COVID 19 and title being Civil Field Engineering Quality Structure AnnexSL COVID 19 SHE Engineer's Role Designs, Construction, Methods, Contracts, Organizations, Communications, Coordinations, and Concentration of Quality. Why be behind quality all time? Very important topic and topics to be discussed because of these certifications indicatively that people have and I too have. If I too have in capacity as fellow member, Chartered Engineer India and professional engineer and engineering degree, also engineering diploma, and before that school. Despite having so many certificates, which not only I have, crores of others do have all over the world, but I am talking in particular to my nation, Bharat, India. My first responsibility lies here. What is meaning of these certificates? I need not tell you. You all know that. What are these certificates? Everybody knows meaning of that. These certificates announce what someone is. That is most important point. What these certificates do announce. But is that announcement sufficient? Point lies in here. Is that announcement sufficient to be happy with what are facts, or we have to go into in-depth deliberation of what should be considered in reality? Whatever profession we do, whatever profession, be engineering or medical or non-engineering and non-medical, all. As I always stress that these first two professions, medical science and engineering science, both are priority requirements for existence, survival, sustainability and development of society. If you want to have sustainability, if you want to have development, if you want to improve your nation, your society, you must be smart enough, you must be intelligent enough to understand what we have to do. Everybody is interested in economy, from individual level to institution level to national level and to international level. Quality is not talked of, but economy is talked of. Economy is talking is very significant. If we talk of economy means we talk of all professions, that is also true. But just talking economy and forgetting basis on which economy is constituted is called ignorance or cover-up. You cannot have good economy just because you prefer it to. Did you analyze? Do you analyze what actually we want to say? People think if you have money, you can do everything. This is general contemplation among everybody, every institution, and even those who are well educated. Forget politicians, forget others. I'm not talking about those, helpless and rubbish people, which I call rubbish, all rubbish. Currently, they are not rubbish otherwise, but currently, in world scenario, if you see, politicians have of course they have democratic value, but they don't have moral values, they don't have people's values. They have only one requirement, that they must stay in power, and that's one of reasons that I'm not interested in referring to them, because they are self-oriented. There may be 1% politician in the world, hardly, who can be called good politicians. Otherwise, more or less, all are in same boat. I am talking of people, I am talking of professional leaders, I am talking of all those leaders, and particularly youth, who are involved directly on activities, on jobs, on production, on engineering, everywhere. I cannot say that engineering is all in all. No, nothing is in all in all. First, we must have good health, and then we must have good engineering. After that, all others relate to these two. No industry can be there if there is no engineering. No factory can work if there is no engineering. No construction, no development can happen if there is no engineering. And no one can be healthy if there is no medical provision. But people can survive if there is no politician, if there is no gadget officer, if there is no administrator. There are ways people can survive. It's on same path I'm talking. There are two persons, for example. One is technical person, whom we call an engineer, and one is a managerial person, organizational person, administrative person, whom we call manager or administrator. If you count these both together, you shall certainly find that a person who is qualified engineer, that person can work as manager or in managerial role, or administrator or in administrative role very easily. But other person who is administrated by education or by everything, it's not possible for that person to work as an engineer. That's difference. Means one is able to replace its position, other cannot. That is difference between what I'm saying, quantity and quality. Both are quantitative. That person is engineer, that person is administrator. Both are having quantities 1. But these quantities are different in character, different in quality, different in approach. And what difference is? One is having certain reliable capability, other one is having relative capability. There can be no administration if there is no institution, if there is no factory, if there is no industry, or there is some other institution. There can be no administration. But if there is nothing, engineer can exist, can survive, because engineer is not dependent on administration. Engineer is dependent on production, on development, on use of natural materials, natural sources. There's a little difference, and that's why quality comes into play, safety, health and environment comes into play, and ergonomics, which is basis of safety, health and environment, that also comes into play. Quality, again I say, quality is something completely different. Quality is something completely different, you can say. It's like having soul in your body. If your good soul, pure soul, doesn't exist in your body, you cannot live. And if your soul is not powerful, you don't have energies as well. Maybe you say, I am an engineer, and why I'm poking my nose into spiritual world, or or respiratory world. I'm saying, I'm not talking of spiritualism here. I'm talking of mechanism, machine. Just like no machine, just like no machine can operate without electrical input or magnetic input, or you can say electromagnetic input. Just like no natural metal can survive without atoms, no natural elements can survive, no natural element can survive without atomic structure, in which orbital you will find electrons and internal you will find nucleus, proton and neutron. We know this is very basic in chemistry, or you can say electron, neutron and proton are basic structures. Electron has negative charge, proton has positive charge, and neutron is zero or neutral. Without these three informative terms, we cannot understand what is atom, what is element. Means this is attachment, or you can say contributes, attributes for atom. Means quality of atom depends on what is performance there, what is value of electron, what is value of proton, how they work, how electron leaves that atom and joins another atom, and whatever receives that electron is called ionization. And likewise we understand what is ion, charge of electron, what is ion, and what are others. We try to know that, and that relates to quality in this chemical world, or you can say, if you say material world. Just like I have body, I live in my body. Who lives in my body? You may ask this question. Of course, I'm talking to you. It's not my body that is talking to you. It is my soul that is talking to you through this body. Because soul cannot communicate directly, because it is electrical current or electrostatic current or electromagnetic current or electromagnetic current, whatever term you can apply for this invisible element, invisible entity. This is invisible entity in my body, and my body is visible to everybody. My body, even if it's alive or it's dead, it shall be visible to everyone. And that's called, physical world, or you can say visible world or feelable world, or who is behind that? That's not visible, and we all know that, but there is someone behind. Just like you say, use electricity, electric current, electric voltage, you use in your applications confirm that there's electric current, or you just touch wire, you'll be shocked. You will like to see applications that work, and you can't touch wire. That's what I say. My soul is there, there's electrical flow, electrons flow, and confirmation is done by application, that is load use. This means if load use is not constant, if use of that supply of electrical current is not constant, it fluctuates or it doesn't perform according to your requirement, it shall destroy that application. If that current doesn't work properly, doesn't work smoothly, doesn't work in 240 volts or 110 volts, whatever your supply being, it shall require changes in ampere, in ampere and voltage relation. You have some bulb, it has some amperage requirement. Current's unit is ampere. Voltage unit is, flow of current, flow of this electrical power is called voltage, based on voltage. If you consider this voltage and multiply by ampere, you will find wattage. So your wattage depends on flow of your current per electrical current and its amperage. Now what it should be, it depends upon wattage of your unit, your application, what watt it is, and what ampere your current moves in, and you accordingly calculate load. I'm just giving an example. I'm not relating to electrical engineering here. Just trying to tell, means what do you mean by quality? Quality means that there is some specification, which is also designed by engineers or by user. Requirement is defined by user, what requirement one has, what is level of illumination you want in your room or in your building, different rooms, what level it should be in lux, in library or in office or in your home. All those are defined and we call them specification. Once you decide something, we can say, yes, this is specification. That point is very much important. We should not forget that. Same way, we have specifications in every part of work. Every part of work has certain specification in life. And that's not a joke actually, and that's a requirement. You have to define yourself, or engineer has to define, and we call that person who defines that. That's called specifier. Means you specify what you want, means you specify what should be temperature of this machine. You specify in which temperature you have to live. Natural temperature is always, not constant. From morning till evening, it changes. In winter, it's 1. In summer, maybe it is 2. And in rain, it is 1.5. Depending, I'm just giving you relative scale. I'm not saying temperature is 1. Temperature in summer can rise up to 55 degrees, 50 degrees, 45 degrees, 48 degrees. Or maybe in the day, morning time, it's 25, 30, 35. At night time, it may come down further. Or it may, in snow area, it's reverse. So that's observation, and that also means that our body can digest that. Our body is qualified, or you can say suitable to digest that, because by virtue of practice we live in. It's not because of natural it is, but our body is subject to that variation of temperature. This means our body is having quality to digest variation of temperature, or you can say varying range of temperatures from minus degrees to say 50 degrees, 45 degrees, 40 degrees. Some people can digest 30 degrees, some people can digest 45 degrees, some people can digest even up to 50 degrees depending on the area in which you are living. There are countries like Iraq where can be temperature goes by to go up to 55. There will be Kuwait where it can go to 50 degrees, like in Gulf 45, 50 it goes. And in some countries it goes to minus 20, minus 15. And if you fly use flight and fly to 10 kilometers in air, sometimes it is minus 50, minus 60 degrees Celsius. This means that is another kind of specification, that's naturally created specification, and we cannot change it, and we have to survive with that. For that we have to make adjustments in our flight structure. Cryogenic steel we may use for purpose of negative temperature, and carbon steel we use for positive temperature. When it goes on changing from one point to another point. Same way we classify our views, our living. Some people these days says they can't live without use of air conditioners. Means they are subjected their body to such comfort that if temperature is 50 degrees, forget they can live. If temperature is 40 degrees, they may try to live, but they won't be happy. You ask them, go and walk in sun in daytime. Forget, they will never go, because they are not used to that kind of natural energy. They want artificial energy through air conditioning. Means, what I mean to say, it changes your lifestyle. Use of energy, how do you live, what do you eat, what way you want to pass your time, what subject do you study, what professor you adopt. All these considerations, change your character, change your attitude, change your conduct. This means this is different kind of system. Means you adopt yourself to that one, and it's not easy to change to some other one, to shift to some other one. And indirectly you can say it is your construction. Maybe you will be surprised that I say you construct yourself to that environment, and it's very difficult to shift from that. There are people who can shift because of requirement. For example, field engineering work. I am a field engineer, I am a civil engineer, I can be a design engineer, I can be a planning engineer, I can be a quantity engineer, I can be environment engineer, I can be site worker, site engineer. I can drive, I can walk, I can jump, I can write, I can think, I can speak. Whatever you do, you have to suit yourself to that one first. Means you should be qualified enough to do that job, and only then you can do it. I am saying this because I have to construct myself, I have to mold myself to that requirement to fit in. And if I can't do that, then how can I do that job? If I have to drive car, I must learn how to drive. I must practice how to drive successfully. Only then I can go. It may take time, it may take month, 2 months, 3 months to practice, and whole life you have to practice. Even then you do not know what's right driving. Here I've seen people who have long experience of driving, but they actually do not know what are controls of driving. It happens. This is, they are drivers, but they don't know quality of driving. They are drivers. Means they are not trained well, or they don't understand well. Same way, I have to see my own working character, working construction, what way I have molded myself by virtue of my work, by virtue of my experience. That is very much important. I am trying to stress how can, in how many ways I can, or it should be, to explain quality. Because you cannot isolate yourself from defined or undefined quality system. It may be defined, you have to define. It may not be defined, means you miss something, but you have to use it. You cannot do without that. That is also important part of quality. It's like your body's respiration system. You use it or you don't use it. It's working. Blood circulation system in your body, you are using it, but you don't think of that because it is automated and you have no control on that. You eat food, yes, that is your control. What you want to eat, that's your option, and that is your requirement, that's your quality system. You are vegetarian, you are non-vegetarian, you eat spices food or you don't eat spices food, you want to take more sweets or you don't want to take more sweets, that is your own requirement. And you have practiced that, that's why you eat that. I can say that when I talk of quality, I talk of something very different. I don't concentrate on one thing. I shift myself to divergence because life is that. You have to meet quantity and quality together. That's my approach. You cannot keep quality in one pocket and quantity on another pocket and you can say, we move now. No, you can't move. You have to move keeping them together. Or there is no meaning, because without material or without product or without good, there can be no quality. And without quality, there can be no good. And you may ask me a question, then why are you raising this question? If good cannot be produced without quality? Yes, you are right, question arises. But this question is in negative direction. Yes, there is a product, it's very good, excellent. It complies with quality system. I can say this is quality product to this description. That is also subject to description. Quality is never free, remember. Only in nature it is free. In nature, whatever you find, that is not in your control. That is nature's control. That is environment control. That is metamorphism. That is sedimentation. That is igneousism. That is a volcano. Likewise, there are trees, there are crops, there's water, there's soil, there's sunlight. Means these never go to your control, you go to their control. You have to submit to them. There is no other way. That is natural quality. No one can change it. Only nature can change it, and it changes it. Nothing is permanent. No quality system is permanent. It goes on changing depending on requirement. That is also true, but quality is there. So when I say quality is there, this means quality of good or bad both are there. If you have some product and doesn't give you required result and doesn't work the way you thought, for you it's bad product because it doesn't satisfy your requirement which you expected out of this. But it may be different one. It may be having bad quality. So quality is still there. You paid for something but you are not getting that. That's the only difference. Quality is there, that's a negative quality. Means this is a dirty product, this is not reliable for you, but this may be reliable something else. Just like you throw a product because it's not good for you to use it further. You throw it in waste basket and there is, or you can say it becomes rubbish or rags, you can say, and garbage. Garbage is also garbage, but it has certain quality because somebody uses it, recycles it. So it has, after recycling it can be used. This means this has certain salvaged quality, certain byproduct quality. So why I say quality explanation is very difficult in isolation. You cannot concentrate. It depends from use to use, from activity to activity, from product to product. For example, plastic. Plastic is having good quality that it can be used by people in various activities, but it has a very bad quality because it cannot be decomposed. It has both qualities. It's a byproduct of hydrocarbons. It can be used in packing. It can be used in mattresses. It can be used in plastic paint. It can be used in polymerization. It can be used in production of bags. It can be used in many activities. Generally, most products, many products these days are plastic products. So you are using products, but simultaneously it's having bad quality that you cannot get rid of this. You cannot get rid of this. You cannot recycle it in majority of cases. So it has both qualities that, but it depends on where it is worked with, where it is used. Depends on that. And that dependence means that is its quality. According to you use it, that's what we have to analyze. That's what analysis is for. People say this is quality product. Yes, it is quality product, but define quality. That quality definition is a question mark only here, which you can't define because people have to understand first. Simply saying quality is not enough. Quality claimed and quality delivered are two questions and answers. I claim I am giving you this quality. This means I have to describe it, I have to prescribe it, or I have to give evidence that I have done it this way, which itself is a quality to constraints of that definition. This means quality as a term is not existing. Quality as a term does not exist. Quality relates to specifications. Quality means specifications. Quality means, you can say, a kind of thinking. Quality means a kind of performance. Quality means a kind of practice. Quality means what do you select for that selection, because that selection is some application, and that application means for this level of quality. That's what means. Quality is a big subject. It's not easy. Simply quality system is not enough. We cannot blindly say this is my quality system and I'm master of it. No, I'm not master of that quality system, because that quality system, yes, it satisfies my requirement for this product, for this design, for this application. This satisfies, but doesn't mean this satisfies everything. And that's what I have to analyze. There can be a number of analysis for same product. There can be a number of theories for that product. There can be a number of designs for that product. Now that's called range of product. Range of products available for every product, and that are also classified into range of cost, range of price. Yes, you can't say, means I want open quality. There is no open quality. Open quality is your mind. Open quality, yourself. Open quality is nature, because you have no control on that. But try to understand what I'm saying. Until we understand quality, we only fight. In fact, in fact, being frank, quality is nothing. It is nature. What is nature? What is my nature? What is your nature? What is nature of this product? What is nature of this material? What is nature of our resources? Actually, explaining that nature, how does it work? What way we can change it to vary its nature so that it suits our purpose. Actually, that is quality. Quality is natural plus artificial. Number one is quality is natural. Leave it aside. You have no control on that. Number two is quality is natural plus artificial or engineered. Means there is natural, you can't change it, but you can amend it to suit your requirement by certain additions or deletions or whatever you can say, whatever process. So you can say that is working quality, natural plus artificial. There is a difference. What you put in, what you give value to, what you mix with something, that is quality of that product. Or you may say method of that product, production method, design method, construction method, or other methods whatsoever. We should not stick to word. Video-1019. If I see you analyze something, it's not simple analysis. It is actually concentration, using your mind on that item. Concentration of mind on that item, because you call it analysis, you call it thinking, both are same. Analysis is specific, you can say specific concentration on something. Analysis is also same. You have to analyze all considerations separately and also, comprehensively. It's not separately alone. Comprehensively, convertibility must be there. So analysis and thinking are very important terms when we talk of quality. We cannot change material quality. We can change our production level, our product quality. We cannot change, you can say blanket of quality that exists in nature. You cannot change rain quality. You cannot change air quality. You cannot change sky quality. You have no power to that level. Therefore, it's very important point. I think I'm not confining myself to quality system that is defined by various institutions, world level institutions like ISO, like Sigma, like whatever else. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm talking something very higher than that. I'm not bound by something. I'm bound by myself, and I'm bound by those for whom I work or for I am supposed to do for them. That's my level of thinking, my level of concentration, my level of reaching some decision. Means how do I think? How do I do? How can I do? All these are related. All these points are linked. You have to understand that. It's not simple. It's like, current stage of, for example, we take in safety world and health world, we take example of COVID-19. COVID-19 is very, now I think everybody knows, it's nothing to explain, but it's everything to understand. It's nothing to explain, that's true. but it's everything to understand it, which we could not do it. We could not do it since it was detected. We could not do. We have not passed in understanding it. We have not passed in reaching to certain thinking based result that what it is. I'm not talking medically. I'm not talking science wise. I am talking generally as an individual, as an ordinary person. A common sense is very important. Application of common sense and having capacity to work with common sense is very important part in life, because common sense is very common but very economical, very verbatim, very philosophical and useful. Sometimes common sense works very strongly. Sometimes even theories are defeated, even texts are defeated, but common sense prevails. Sense it is. We call it common, but it is sense. Because it's called common, there is a reason that people expect that with people. Everybody has some common sense that may come from your birth, or they may come to you through some education, or it may come to you through some experience, or you can say from your extra character, extra struggle. Common sense means it's not common for everybody, but you can say property in everybody should be. I say, oh, you have good common sense. You are a sensible person. When we say someone is sensible, this means there is common sense with that as well. And I still remember that we used to go when I was a student in engineering, called, oh, you are engineering, it's common sense based. You have common sense to do it. We'll just tell you what to do, you do it. We can't stand with you all the time, but you have used common sense and you do design this. If you have a knowledge, if you have some degree of knowledge in designs or in work, every work can be done in many ways. Which way you adopt, that's your experience. So here I say common sense is very important, and that's part we can say quality functions. Engineering is in fact particularly engineering in civil world requires highest degree of common sense with a person who is a qualified engineer. It's not enough to be qualified. It's not enough. That is just the start. Civil engineering, actually, to be very frank, is not real education. Real education is your own. You just get help from your theory, from your tutorials when you apply civil engineering, but that is only 25 to 35%, approximately 65% to 75%. You have to use your common sense, because civil relates to world, it relates to people, it doesn't relate to imagination, it doesn't relate to hypothetical work. It's very important to understand. So here, if I can use my common sense, of course common sense which I earned after going through studies, that common sense is very different in value, very, very different in approach, but that is, you can say, my character. So when I talk of quality, we should refer now to COVID-19, that we have not understood it till now, and I'm sure that we shall not understand about this in coming time, because it's very, very, very powerful entity. COVID-19 is very powerful entity. We have not understood what it is, and therefore when we are not applied thorough knowledge on this, we confine to only subjects or only to our specialization, virology and others. then we cannot go beyond medical world. We cannot go beyond higher world, beyond medical world to highest world. Though that can't be proven, but everything cannot be proved in life. Just like my soul existence cannot be proved, God's existence cannot be proved, my thinking power cannot be proved. Yes, it can be understood, it can be measured, but it can't be proved. How does it work? How does my soul work in my body? How does whole system works? How intuition comes in? How occult works? Means there are various ways which are interconnected. These may be physical and soul interconnection, or soul to soul interconnection. There can be whatever. Sometimes you do not think about something, but automatically it comes to your mind, even you don't have any problem. It happens. It's therefore very important. We have to understand that first we have to understand what is something. That's very important. If you understand what is something, then we can go beyond that. We can understand its nature, we can understand its capacity, we can understand its performance, and we can understand everything associated with that one, or you can say attached with that one, that entity. I can see that when there's large issue with millions of people, if there is issue with one person, it can be understood. If there is an issue with one state, can be understood, or one nation can be understood. But when it becomes issue for everyone, all over the world, this means it's not easy design. It's not easy quality, whoever did it. That point we have to discover. But we have failed so far in case of COVID-19. And in fact, what is going on currently around the world is nothing but panic. Is nothing but panic. And panic never helps. Because we are engineers, we understand what is panic. We understand what's value of time. We understand what's value of money and cost. And on top of that, we understand what is quality. We have to understand quality by this. We have not understood anything about COVID-19 so far, but we are trying to vaccinate. Okay, that's safety point of view, that's medical point of view, but disease we don't have. How this happened? So far there is no clue, as no evidence at all about safety, about COVID. Both are related, but we don't have. We just move like we have to move. That's true, you move like you have to move, but you will be safe. Many people criticize when you talk as such. I don't know reason behind that. It's true that precaution must be taken. It's true. Precautionary measures must be resorted to for safety reason, for protection from bad quality. But we have to define first, what's my requirement? In engineering world, requirement is very important. Though we use many titles in engineering, but titles with credibility, those must be kept separate. They cannot be mixed up. Engineers must realize quality system, quality facts, and particularly civil engineers have to change quality aspect of society, or else quality cannot exist. Now, my time is also not extensive for talking, but believe me, when I talk of quality, I feel upset. When I talk of quality, when I think of quality, when I want to work with quality, when I want to see quality, when I buy some material and I'm interested in quality, and people are not interested in quality, shopkeepers are not interested, that seller of my product is not interested, they least bother about that. And that's where we fail. We fail. Okay, if you don't have 100%, you should have past percentages. That too we don't have. Then what for I need this material? If I'm not getting quality, why should I use this material? Why should I buy this material? Again I say, as I explained in last talk, outsourcing, nothing wrong. It's legal. I never say don't outsource, or I never say you do it your way. Why should I say? It's your risk, your liability, your seller, your manufacturer. It's your problem. It's not a problem. In fact, it's organization. It means how do you spend money, how do you organize your work so that customers keep coming to you, and customer should not be harassed. Every day we talk of quality, and quality is always different. It tells you what it is. It tells you so many things, and that's why it's quality. It can be understood well, it may not be understood well. It depends on capability of everybody, how capable you are to understand quality. Quality is a referral only, it's a term only, but in reality, you have to know what this product is about. Remember, if you find somewhere that this is product for consumption, personal consumption, but it contains some poison, shall you consume that product? Or you will not even know what is written on that and consume that. Just think on, contemplate. I'm not saying you will do that. Can you select poison in your product and eat it? Can't. You can't. You have to rest for health. You have to rest for your build-up, and you have to study for everything. We study in universities, in institutions. All study generally. 50% or more people study there. Or even if it's less, doesn't matter. My talk is not related to very good organizational system. Everybody has to work. But what we have to work? We have to work with safety. We have to work with quality. We have to work with reliability. If my work, if my service, if my product, or if my combined efforts are consistent, competent, safe, working, and I have good training, maybe numbers are small, data is small, but scope is unlimited. It can happen. Reliability is very, very different. It says that your product is reliable. I can rely on you. That's a trust between individuals, groups, and all. We have to understand that point. Reliability is also a definition of quality system, because reliability doesn't mean first time. Reliability means experience-based reliability, risk-based reliability, time-based reliability, and continuous improvement-based reliability. We always stress on character, we always stress on quality, but I do not know reason why we can maintain quality. How you can't maintain quality, that reason is very extraordinary and difficult. Thinking, synthesis, contemplation, risk cover, all these points come into quality system. What level of thinking we can do, what level of energizing we do, what level of, you can say, we have to understand all this. I think there is no end to quality talk, but I would say that it's better if we talk a little. We go to, yesterday we were talking about some item of, I think it was, we talked yesterday of is that, I think I've missed that file. Let's try open other file. We tried yesterday to talk of, working at height. Yes, I think I'm talking of that one. We have talked of working at height. This was our last talk, and I just review only, means what we did. I'm not going to speak in full. I'm just going to say, give a glimpse of what we did, just that one. In this case, we were comfortable to know how it works, and that is working height fall preventions. We just try to understand purpose of that, and then of course we did instructions, what instructions can be given, etc. Toolbox talks and all that, and safety related issues, safety harness, lanyard system, etc. I don't know, I also shared some photographs. What is scaffolding, what's ladder. We just had discussions, temporary work, elevated work platforms, and mobile work platform. Discuss mass climbing work platforms, and likewise we did all this in one time. Therefore, I am going to close this now, and we start with abrasive wheels. Abrasive wheels. What is abrasive wheels? We have to understand this point, and it's a very important point. And we have to refer to some other sites as well, if we can. Abrasive wheels. We take it. Abrasive wheels. We say which one I should take back. I'm not finding Wikipedia. Let's see Wikipedia. I open, it's better to see. I open Wikipedia, in fact. Let's start. It's better to understand this first. I like to print it out. So it's here with us, this paper of I'm talking of abrasive wheels, and this is a paper based on Wikipedia. It says abrasive wheels are a punk rock band of late 1970s, early 1980s. They hailed from Leeds, England, and were seldom out of independent charts between 1980 and 1984. When band split, band were Shauna, Rajana, vocal Diane, guitar Harry. Anyway, not interested in that. Let's go further. Band formed in 1976 and initially consisted of Phil, Shauna, Ronja vocals, Darian or guitar, Davis Cousins. I'm not going to in history. I want to find something important. If I don't find, then I'll go to something else. Well, I think music system it is. I am wrong somewhere. Let me close this. This is not that I was looking for. Let's try to find something else because I thought it's good one, but abrasive wheels. Discs, I think. Discs. Ah, yes, that's all. Wikipedia says it's that one, I think. It's that one which can be relied upon. So we station ourselves here. A grinding wheel it is given. Of course it's abrasive wheels, and that's a grinding wheel. A grinding wheel is a wheel used for grinding. Grinding wheels are composed of abrasive compounds and are used for various grinding, abrasive cutting and abrasive machining operations. Such wheels are used in grinding machines, abrasive cutting and abrasive machining. Wheels are generally made with composite material. This consists of coarse particle aggregate. This is composite material. What's that? Wheels are generally made with composite material. Composite material means this consists of coarse particle. Coarse means not fine. Coarse particle aggregate pressed and bonded together. Coarse particle aggregate pressed and bonded together by a cementing matrix called bond in grinding wheel terminology. Bond in grinding wheel terminology. So what we have to say? Cementing matrix is formed. Coarse particle aggregate pressed and bonded together by a cementing matrix which is called bond in grinding wheel terminology. To form a solid circular shape, various profiles and cross sections are available depending on intended uses for wheel. This may also be made from a solid steel or aluminum disc with particles bonded to surface. Today, most grinding wheels are artificial composites made with artificial aggregates. Artificial composites made with artificial aggregates. But history of grinding wheels began with natural composite stones, such as those used for millstones. Natural, but history of grinding wheels began with natural composite stones, such as those used for millstones. Manufacture of these wheels is a precise and tightly controlled process, due not only to inherent safety risks of a spinning disc, but also composition and uniformity required to prevent that disc from exploding due to high stresses produced on rotation. Manufacture of these wheels is a precise and tightly controlled process, due not only to inherent safety risks of a spinning disc, but also composition and uniformity required to prevent that disc from exploding due to high stresses produced on rotation. So inherent safety is a question there. Spinning disc, you can say inherent safety risks of spinning disc, but also avoid, you can say composition uniformity required. It should be duly composite material. Uniformity is required, is uniform to prevent disc from explosion. Now, grinding wheels are consumables. Grinding wheels are consumables, although lifespan can vary widely depending on use case. From less than a day to many years, this can be used. As wheel cuts, it periodically releases individual grains of abrasive, typically because they grow dull and increased drag pulls them out of bond. Fresh grains are exposed in this wear process, which begin next cycle. Rate of wear in this process is usually very predictable for a given application and is necessary for good performance. There are five characteristics. There are five characteristics of cutting wheel. Abrasive material, these are characteristics. Abrasive material, grain size, wheel grade, grain spacing. That is a little down there. Give 145. So you can see now all. There are five characteristics of cutting wheel: abrasive material, grain size, wheel grade, grain spacing, and bond type. They are indicated by codes on wheels label. Abrasive material. Five characteristics are, you can say, what is abrasive material? It's this. This material is there, abrasive material. There's a grain size for that material because the grains make that material, and grains and wheel grade, what wheel it is, that's also grade, and grain spacing and bond type. So what material it is? Abrasive material, grain size, wheel grade, grain spacing, and bond type. They are indicated by codes on wheels label. Abrasive material. Abrasive aggregate is selected primarily according to hardness of material. Abrasive aggregate is selected primarily according to hardness of material being cut. Chemical compatibility is also a concern. For example, because carbon alloys with iron, silicon carbide is not suitable for use with iron-based metals like steel. So carbon alloys with iron, silicon carbide is not suitable for use with iron-based metals like steel. So we can say aluminum oxide A, silicon carbide, ceramic, diamond, cubic bond nitride. These are grinding wheels with diamond or CBN grains. Grinding wheels with diamond or CBN grains are called super abrasives. Cubic boron nitride and diamond. Grinding wheels with diamond or CBN, that is cubic boron nitride grains, are called super abrasives. Grinding wheels with aluminum oxide, corundum, silicon carbide or ceramic grains are called conventional abrasives. So super abrasives and conventional abrasives means aluminum oxide, silicon carbide or ceramic grains are called conventional abrasives. Grain size from 10 coarset to 600 finest courses. Most core, coarse, we say coarse. Most core, which is coarse, is 10, means high 10, and to finest is 600. When you go towards fineness, you increase number, and when you go towards coarse area, you go to reduce numbers. So from 10, that's coarse, most courses is 10, and finest is 600. So this is range 10 to 600. Lower number means coarser and higher number means fine. Determines average physical size of abrasive grains. Average physical size of abrasive grains in wheel. Larger grain shall cut freely. Larger grain shall cut freely, allowing fast cutting but poor surface finish. Fast cutting but poor surface finish. Ultra fine grain size are for precision finishing work. Generally, grain size of grinding wheel are 10 to 24 coarse, 10 to 24 coarse, 30 to 60 medium, and 80 to 200 fine, and more than that 220 to 600 very fine. So this is grading here based on grain size, that is related to grinding wheel, and it says that coarse it is, that is coarse grinding, it is 10 to 24, medium grinding 30 to 60 medium, and 80 to 200 fine, and 200 to 600 very fine. Wheel grade. What wheel grade it is? Soft from A to Z is hard. A is soft and Z is hard. Determines how tightly bond holds abrasive A to H for softer structure. A to H for softer structure. I to P for moderately hard structure, and Q to Z for hard structure. Grade affects almost all considerations of grinding, such as wheel speed, coolant flow, maximum and minimum feed rates, and grinding depth. I repeat, grade affects almost all considerations of grinding, such as wheel speed, coolant flow, maximum and minimum feed rates, and grinding depth. So A to Z it is. A to Z, in this A to Z there is A to H. A to H means first 8, that is softer, then I to P for moderately hard structure, and Q to Z for hard structure. Grade affects almost all considerations of grinding, such as wheel speed, coolant flow, maximum and minimum feed rates, and grinding depth. Grain spacing. Grain spacing Grain spacing or structure. Grain spacing or structure from densest to 17 least dense. Let us see also before we go further. If there's another portion of website which I can use for this purpose, of course I should go to Wikipedia. Wellabrasive.com, grinding wheels for every application. Grit of grinding wheels. Let us see what's that. Grinding wheels for every application. Let us see first this better. Let me open this grinding wheels for every application. Let me see what it says. Maybe it is useful. Grinding wheel application. I think this is not suitable one. Let us see. I think it's long one. Can be taken. We can use this if think very clear. Let's try this. Alright, we'll keep this also. I think let us do, it will depend on this as well. Nothing wrong, we can depend on this as well, no problem, it's okay. So I'll keep this as well, better. I close that site now. That's unnecessary, it will cost me. So we come back to spacing. Before that, I will go to, you can read meanwhile this, so that you can try to understand. I'll go there and come back with that one. Alright, we are back here to do our procedure. I said that the spacing, so we have gone through wheel grade. Now grain spacing. Grain spacing is a question now, as it is clear that you have to understand that very healthy. So grain spacing, or you can say structure, spacing or structure from densest. When we are talking of densest, that is from 1 to 17. 1 is densest and 17 is least dense. We are talking of density. Spacing or structure from densest to least densest, the 1 to 17 range. Density is ratio of bond. Here density is ratio of bond to an abrasive to space. Ratio of bond and abrasive to space. A less dense wheel shall cut freely and has a large effect on surface finish. It is also able to take a deeper, you can say deeper. It has also able to take a deeper or wider cut with less cooling, as chip clearance on wheel is greater. So it says spacing or structure from 1, that is densest, to 17, that is least dense. Density is ratio of bond and abrasive to air space. A less dense wheel shall cut freely and has a large effect on surface finish. It's also able to take deeper or wider cut with less coolant, as chip clearance on wheel is greater. Now wheel bond, how wheel holds abrasive, how wheel holds abrasives, affects finish, coolant and maximum wheel speed. Now we have talk about effect finish, what's effect on finish, then coolant, then maximum wheel speed. We have bond, different types of bonds, let's say vitrified, resinoid, silicate, shellac, rubber, metal, oxychloride, plated. These are bond names. Vitrified symbol is V, resinoid B, silicate S, shellac E, rubber R, metal M, oxychloride O, plated P. So bond description: vitrified, that is V, vitrified, that is glass based, made via vitrification of clays and feldspars. Glass based, that is vitrified, is glass based, made via vitrification of clays and feldspar. Resinoid B, that is resin based, made from plants or petroleum distillates. Made from plants because it is resin based, made from plants or petroleum distillates. It is silicate, that is silicate based, and it is shellac, that is shellac based. It's rubber, that is from natural rubber or synthetic rubber. It's metal made from various alloys and oxychloride made from oxyhalide. Plated made by electroless bonding of metal to hold abrasives. So we have vitrified, that is glass based, made by a vitrification of clays and feldspars. We have resinoid, that is made from plants or petroleum distillates, resin based, and silicates, that is silicate based. Shellac is shellac based. Rubber made from natural rubber or synthetic rubber. Metal, that's metal from various alloys. Oxychloride, that's made from an oxohalide. Plated made by electroless bonding of metal to hold abrasives. Straight wheels. We have straight wheels, then cylinder or wheel ring, tapered wheel, then we have straight cup, dish cup, saucer wheel, diamond wheel, mounted points. Then we have, you can say, cut-off wheel, use. Then we have dressing. Then we have testing for grinding tools. Let's one by one. So types now. Straight wheel. We have to see that. To right is an image. Here is an image. You can say this is straight wheel. These are by far most common style of wheels and can be found on bench or pedestal grinders. They are used on periphery only and therefore produce a slightly concave surface. Hollow ground on part. This can be used to advantage on many tools such as chisels. Straight wheels are generally used for cylindrical, centerless and surface grinding. Used for cylindrical, centerless and surface grinding operations. Wheels of this form vary greatly in size, diameter and width of face, naturally depending upon class of work for which is used and size and power of grinding machine. Then cylinder or wheel ring. Cylinder wheels provide a large wide surface with no center, mounting surface, hollow. Large cylinder wheels provide a large wide surface with no center, mounting support, hollow. They can be very large, up to 12-inch width. They are used only in vertical or horizontal spindle grinders. Cylinder or wheel ring is used for producing flat surfaces, grinding being done with end face of wheel. Tapered wheel. A straight wheel that tapers outward towards center of wheel. This arrangement is stronger than straight wheels and can accept higher lateral loads. Tapered face straight wheel is primarily used for grinding thread gear teeth. Grinding thread gear teeth. Straight cup. Straight cup wheels are an alternative to cup wheels in tool and cutter grinders, where having an additional radial grinding surface is beneficial. Dish cup. A very shallow cup style grinding wheel. Thin, thinnest allows grinding. Thinnest allows grinding in slots and crevices. Very shallow cup style grinding wheel. Thinnest allows grinding in slots and crevices. It's used primarily in cutter grinding and jig grinding. Saucer wheel, a special grinding profile that is used to grind milling cutters and twist drills. It's most common in non-machining areas as saw filers. Saw filers use saucer wheels in maintenance of saw blades. So special grinding, that's saucer wheel, a special grinding profile that is used to grind milling cutters and twist drills, most common in non-machining areas as saw filers use saucer wheels in maintenance of saw blades. Diamond wheel. Diamond wheels are grinding wheels with industrial diamonds bonded to periphery. It is there. You can say this is diamond wheel. Diamond here. They are used for grinding extremely hard materials such as carbide cutting tips, gemstones or concrete. Means they are used for grinding extremely hard materials such as carbide cutting tips, gemstones or concrete. Saw pictured to right, this picture right is a slitting saw. This is slitting saw and is designed for slicing hard materials, typically gemstones. Mounted points. Mounted points are small grinding wheels. Mounted points are small grinding wheels bonded onto mandrel. Diamond mounted points are tiny diamond rasps for use in jig grinder doing profiling work in hard material. Resin and vitrified bonded mounted points with conventional grains are used for deburring applications. Especially in foundry industry. Mounted points is a small handle with a general name used in electrical mill, hanging mill, hand drill. Many of main types of ceramic mounted points, rubber mounted points, diamond mounted points, emery cloth and so on. Ceramic mounted points. Granular sand. Ceramic mounted points. Granular sand, usually corundum, white jade, chrome, corundum, silicon carbide, made of ceramic binder sintering. Central supplemented by metal handle. Mainly grinding all kinds of metal for diameter of inner wall of grinding, mold correction. Rubber mounted points, finer particles, sand combined with by rubber binder into for polishing of mold. Sandpaper mounted points, multi-piece rectangular sand cloth, bonding around metal handle. Granularity is generally in 60 number to 320 number, 60 to 320 for diameter of inner wall of polishing. Diamond mounted points, a grinding tool for non-metallic materials such as stone, porcelain and like, and more particularly to a grinding tool using a diamond alloy as a grinding body comprising a substrate and a plurality of grinding bodies, and substrate is preferably made of an adhesive material having a certain toughness, and grinding body is preferably made of a diamond alloy material, and substrate is preferably made of diamond alloy material. Utility model has characteristics of high grinding performance, simple manufacture and low cost, high grinding quality, and can be applied to large scale grinding. Let us repeat this, it's very complicated, and let us say we go to, from mounted points we go and we try to understand. Mounted points are small grinding wheels. Mounted points are small grinding wheels bonded onto mandrel. Diamond mounted points are tiny diamond rasps for use in a jig grinder. Mounted points are small grinding wheels bonded onto a mandrel. Diamond mounted points are tiny diamond rasps for use in jig grinder doing profiling work in hard material. That is mounted points. Resin and vitrified bonded mounted points. Resin and vitrified bonded mounted points with conventional grains are used for deburring applications, especially in foundry industry. Mounted points is small handle with a general name used in electric mill, hanging mill, hand drill. Many of main types of ceramic mounted points, rubber mounted points, diamond mounted points, emery cloth, and so on. Ceramic mounted points, granular sand, usually corundum, white jade, chrome corundum, silicon carbide, made of ceramic binder centering. Central supplemented by metal handle. Mainly grinding all kinds of metal. For diameter of inner wall of grinding, mold correction. This is ceramic mounted. Rubber mounted points, finer particles size sand combined by rubber binder into for polishing of mold. Sandpaper mounted points, multi-piece sandpaper mounted points, multi-piece rectangular sand cloth bonding around metal handle. Granularity is generally in 60 to 320 number for diameter of inner wall of polishing. Diamond mounted point, a grinding tool for non-metallic materials such as stone. A grinding tool for non-metallic material such as stone, porcelain, and alike, and more particularly to a grinding tool using a diamond alloy as a grinding body comprising a substrate and a plurality of grinding bodies, and substrate is preferably made of an adhesive material having a certain toughness, and grinding body is preferably made of diamond alloy material, and substrate is preferably made of diamond alloy material. Utility has characteristics of high grinding performance, simple manufacture, and low cost, high grinding quality, and can be applied to large scale grinding. Cut-off wheels, also known as parting wheels, are self-sharpening wheels that are thin in width and often have radial fibers reinforcing them, are often used in construction industry for cutting reinforcement bars, rebar we call them, protruding bolts, or anything that needs quick removal or trimming cut-off wheel. Most handymen would recognize an angle grinder and discs they use. To use grinding wheel, it must first be clamped to grinding machine. To use grinding wheel, it must first be clamped to grinding machine. Wheel type, namely cup or plain wheel blow, fit freely on their supporting arbors. They fit freely on their supporting arbors. Necessary clamping force to transfer. Rotary motion being applied to wheels side by identically sized flanges. Paper blotter shown in images is intended to distribute this clamping force evenly across wheel surface. Dressing. Says grinding produces sparks and little fragments of metal called swarf. Grinding wheels are self-sharpening to a small degree. For optimal use, they may be dressed and trued by use of wheel or grinding dressers. Dressing of wheel refers to removing current layer of abrasive so that a fresh and sharp surface is exposed to work surface. Truing wheel makes grinding surface parallel to grinding table or other reference plane so that entire grinding wheel is even and produces an accurate surface. Testing for grinding tools. Grinding wheels and grinding tools are used extensively in industry and manual trades for treating surfaces and for separating and cutting objects, and have to withstand massive mechanical stress. Mostly centrifugal forces can cause a break, but also flexural and shear forces. Since a break or failure of grinding tool can present a severe hazard to people and machinery due to high level of energy released, high standards are placed on mechanical and braking strength of grinding tools. High standards are placed on mechanical and braking strength of grinding tools in in European safety standards. Institute for Occupational Safety and Health of German Social Accident Insurance conducts tests based on rules of procedure for testing and certification carried out by testing and certification bodies in DGUV test. This is about, our now I'll just this is I'll go to other one, and that's here. Products for grinding applications. Products for grinding applications. That's an important point here. Let's see that. Metal fabrication. Let us see first one also here. If you can see some commercial or something else, I don't care for commercial. It's not something else. So, high quality of grinding wheels, filters, material application. This is all commercial, so leave it. What actually this photo is? Let's say conical TY29 phenolic backing. This is application finishing and grinding, stainless steel, and this is Tiger power abrasive flap. This is application grinding. Material application is stainless steel, and also here Tiger abrasive. Application finishing grinding, so aluminum backing. Bobcat mini abrasive, so this is grinding. Like different types of grinding wheels are shown here for your reference. I'm not going to discuss that. I'm going to give a theory behind that. Products for grinding applications. Metal fabrication professionals. Metal fabrication professionals trust Whalers line. Okay, that's commercial. Enhancing abrasing to help deliver results. Toughest grinding application. Choose right abrasive grinding. Okay. Now it is abrasives are popular tools. Abrasives are popular tools used in grinding applications every day, from general fabrication operations to pipelines and ship repair. First step in choosing right abrasive for job is determining what tool you have available to you. Now these are tools here: die grinders, angle grinders, bench grinders. Die grinders. Die grinders are precise and compact, handheld rotary. Let me open door and come back. Die grinders, angle grinders, and bench grinders. You have to understand that point as well. Die grinders, angle grinders, and bench grinders. Die grinders. Die grinders are precise and compact. Die grinders are precise and compact handheld rotary tools. Rotary tools made for working in small areas. These grinders are either battery powered. Die grinders are precise and compact handheld rotary tools made for working in small areas. These grinders are either battery powered, electric or pneumatic. These tools can be configured with straight or angled heads and different die grinder wheels. Angle grinders are larger tools that require two hands to operate, also known as side, disc or right angle grinders. These tools feature a heavy duty grinding wheel seated at 90 degrees. There is a wide selection of different angle grinder discs available to perform various tasks. Bench grinders are stationary and mounted to a workbench or another stable surface. A bench grinder has two wheels that spin at same RPM, and they can be set up with abrasive grinding wheels to perform everything from shaping raw materials to fine detail work. So die grinders, angle grinders, bench grinders. Die grinders means precise and compact handheld rotary tools made for working in small areas. These grinders are either battery powered, electric or pneumatic, can be configured with straight and angled heads and different die grinder wheels. Angle grinders, large tools that require two hands to operate, also known as side, disc or right angle grinders. These tools feature a heavy duty grinding wheel seated at 90 degrees. There is a wide selection of different angle grinder discs available to perform various tasks. And bench grinders are stationary and are mounted to a bench, workbench or another stable surface. It has two wheels that spin at same RPM, and they can be set up with abrasive grinding wheels to perform everything from shaping raw materials to fine detail work. Grinding wheels and angle grinder discs. Grinding wheels and angle grinder discs. A Wheeler abrasive, let's say abrasive, is manufactured hundreds of different bonded and coated abrasive grinding wheels and discs. Now, our abrasives are designated or designed with purpose and made to work with specific tools. When selecting best grinding wheel for application material, there are several features to consider. Now, grit and grade, let us say. Grit and grade. Grit of grinding wheels and angle grinder discs refer to size of abrasive grain. Grit of grinding wheel and angle grinder discs refer to size of abrasive grain, that is grit. Abrasive grains with low numbers 24 to 36 grit are very aggressive and remove material very fast. Higher grit number, smaller grain and finer finished surface. What is grade? For bonded abrasives, grade is a lettering system lettering system to indicate hardness of wheel. Letters closer to end of alphabet have a harder bond. A harder bond will typically result in longer product life and slower exposure to new grains. Abrasive grains for grinding. Now let us go further for this because it's a conversion. There is abrasive grains for grinding: ceramic alumina, zirconia alumina, aluminum oxide, silicon carbide. Ceramic alumina CG. Ceramic alumina is a premium grain and delivers maximum. Ceramic alumina is a premium grain and it delivers maximum performance on hard to grind metals. This durable grain features as self-sharpening crystals with predetermined fracture points that provide dependable, consistent and aggressive grinding while applying moderate pressure. Zirconia alumina ZA, offered in Tiger Jerk brand of abrasives. Zirconia alumina is also self-sharpening and hold up under extreme pressure. Aluminum oxide has sharp crystals with an excellent initial cutting rate that dulls over time. It's an industry staple and a popular choice for a broad spectrum of metal fabrication applications. Silicon carbide is an extremely hard grain that is very sharp and fast cutting but friable and not as tough as other grains. So ceramic alumina, zirconia alumina, aluminum oxide, silicon carbide. Ceramic alumina is premium grain and delivers maximum performance on hard to grind metals. This durable grain features self-sharpening crystals with predetermined fracture points that provide dependable, consistent and aggressive grinding while applying moderate pressure. Zirconia alumina offered in Tiger Zinc brand of abrasives. Zirconia alumina is also self-sharpening and will not hold under extreme pressure. Aluminum oxide sharp crystals with excellent initial cutting rate that dulls over time. It's an industry staple and popular choice for broad spectrum of metal fabrication application. Silicon carbide is an extremely hard grain that is very sharp and fast cutting but is friable and not as tough as other grains. Compatibility. When selecting an abrasive, be sure it shall work with particular model of tool. Die grinders have different size collects and may use a type S mandrel or various type S or type R hub pads and mandrel combinations. Right angle grinding wheel mount with an arbor and secure using adapter nuts or discs with nutted metal hubs for an easy spin-on, spin-off changeover. Grinder size determines arbor needed. Many flop discs also have options for backing including phenolic, aluminum composite. Phenolic angle grinder discs with a phenolic designation have a backing made from a synthetic resin, which backing is great choice for projects that need prevent scratches on workpiece. So phenolic is angle grinder discs with phenolic designation having a backing made from synthetic resin. Aluminum right angle grinding discs that have aluminum backings are sturdy and resistant to bending. These flat discs are ideal for grinding applications where a stiff backing is required or preferred. Composite die grinding wheels and angle grinder discs with composite backing are non-marking. Some flap disc options are trimmable. Trimmable flap disc shall allow for a reduced tool diameter to access hard to reach areas. Difference between bonded abrasives and coated abrasives. Bonding and coating are processes of applying loose abrasive material to abrasive wheels and discs. These methods produce discs suited for different applications and each offers distinct advantages. Bonded abrasives. Bonded abrasives are loose abrasive grains mixed with durable composites materials and hardened into discs of various dimensions. These have duty grinding wheels area, something hidden here I think. Strong adhesive, coated abrasives. Coated abrasives involve applying loose grains to surface prepared with a strong adhesive coat. Examples of coated abrasive include grinder belts, angle grinder, flap discs and die grinder flap wheels. Arbor grinding wheels made from bonded abrasives. Okay, these heavy duty grinding wheels come in multiple mounting diameters to match arbor on various grinders. Type 27 and 28 depressed center grinding wheels each offer up to 45 degrees of working angle and include triple fiber glass reinforcement for lasting performance during aggressive stock removal. Maximum performance. Okay. Maximum performance angle grinder discs provide superior life and high cut rate. Arbor grinding wheels in our performance line include pipeline wheels and ceramic wheels. Our pipeline wheels are ceramic infused wheels made from using most demanding pipeline applications. Ceramic wheels offer a superior combination of life and cut rate and perform well on stainless steel and hard to grind metals like inconel, like titanium, tools, steel, armored steel and high nickel alloy. High performance Tiger jerk, Tiger inox and Tiger aluminum angle grinders discs make up high performance line. These grinding discs for metal delivery a fast cut and long lifespan and offer contaminant free options for aluminum and stainless steel. Performance Tiger performance depressed center grinding wheels feature aluminum oxide grains held together by a strong resin bond. These angle grinder wheels are a popular choice for their long useful life and are great for working on carbon steel, structural steel, cast iron and other metals. This is Tiger Performance Depressed Center Grinding Wheels. Center grinding wheels feature aluminum oxide grains held together by a strong resin bond and are popular choice for and their long useful life are great for working on carbon steel, structural steel, cast iron and other metal. Now angle iron, angle and die grinder wheels made from coated abrasives. There are I'm not interested in telling about company, I'm just giving you material properties which are to be understood. Don't take it otherwise. Our Tiger abrasive, I'm not talking on behalf of company, I'm just telling you what they do. We have many different options available. These abrasives come in styles that provide different effective ranges for stock removal. So Tiger ceramic maximum performance, then Tiger X high performance, then Tiger soft power performance Wolverine. So Tiger ceramic flap discs feature ceramic alumina and are top coated to provide cool grinding and prevent loading on soft alloys. These flap discs are ideal for stainless steel and hard to grind metal like tool steel, inconel, aluminum, high nickel alloy, titanium and other metals. Tiger X high performance flap discs are a fast grinding, long life option that is ideal for flat surface grinding. Dual flap design that leverages a ceramic and zirconia alumina grain mix for increased productivity when working with steel, stainless steel and other materials. Power performance. Tiger power performance flap discs are best for superior edge grinding and offer aggressive stock removal. Tiger Paw is made using 100% zirconia, alumina, and delivers best results on stainless steel, stainless and cast iron. Wolverine metal grinding discs are value-driven discs that facilitate rapid stock removal and deliver consistent performance when working on general purpose alloys. These are various discs. So I'm not just interested in angle discs, trimmable disc, mini disc, Tiger flap, then resin fiber discs, trim cuts discs and flap. So it's just commercial one which I'm not going to be interested in, and that's enough. Means certain says have abrasive grains, this have abrasive grains fused to polymer backing, removing need to use a backup pad. Polymer trims itself during use to continually expose fresh grains to work surfaces. Abrasive grinding discs mount to high right angle grinding wheels, and we also have options for use with die grinder. Typical applications for trim cut discs include deburring, edge blending and surface preparation, weld stock. So we can say we've gone through certain general understanding of this we have gone through. So we have to close this file now, and I have to close this file now. Then we have to go to abrasive wheels, which are talking here in this actually facts. Environmental control and waste disposal. Well, it's not that abrasive wheel I'm talking. Yes, abrasive wheel. I'm sorry. By mistake it has come. So abrasive wheels is chapter 22. Abrasive wheels, and I was actually I focused on this. It's a statement, very small, and applies to all works involving use of abrasive wheels. It applies to all works involving use of abrasive wheels, and purpose of this procedure to ensure that those responsible for handling and use of abrasive wheels are familiar with required safety precautions. These are required on many applications of grinding, vertically as well as horizontally. Power operated grinders, table mounted grinders, power operated grinders, table mounted grinders, post welding, reaming of welds are certain applications requiring such abrasive wheels. You can say power operated grinders, electrically operated grinders, you can say, table mounted grinders, post welding, rimming of wheels are certain applications requiring such abrasive wheels. In definition, we can say safety, company, contractor, subcontractor, client, personal means, training, management, all same as we discussed before. And okay, so project. Now here's abrasive. Abrasive means abrasive used in wheel. Abrasive means abrasive used in wheel, construction or manufacturing. And grain size means size of abrasive grains used as cutting particles. Responsibilities in general. So project manager, site, all these are there. It's not anything new. Then responsibilities means, let us say this is little different. So we can say contractor's site manager is responsible for ensuring that overall requirements are understood and followed by all people involved with abrasive wheel works on project. EPC contractor manager HSC ensures that subcontractor management are familiar with this procedure. Abrasive activities, operations carried out on project have been covered by this procedure. EPC contractor and subcontractor superintendent supervision of subcontractor carrying abrasive operations, ensuring the work method statements and risk assessments have been carried out as required by nature of operations. Ensure equipment is adequately of light capacity, integrated and safe for its intended use. So we will take this later on. Now you can say we'll take up this accidents involving section of wheels, what type of this is, and we'll take up this different types of, we will take up so we will be doing this. पंखा बंद करके लगा सब भूल जाएगा, यहाँ जाएगा, पंखा बंद करना से खड़ी हो जाती है सर पे, तो क्या करूँगी?
इधर को जाऊँ तो अलग अलग हो जाएगी।